You know what I'm thinking of when it's a soft woman? I think a soft woman. I'm thinking of that. You remember? Have you seen Ghostbusters? Ghost, what are you going to call Ghostbusters? Isn't it? Yeah. Ray Parker Jr. Remember that? Bill Murray. Dan Aykroyd, the other guy, Rick Moranis or something. Ray Parker Jr. had the hit with the theme tune. Remember it, don't you? Yeah. But the hero was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Who was like the Michelin Man but made out of marshmallows. So whenever I think of the soft woman, which I always think of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man but female version. With the added attraction of two dirty great marshmallow gazongas. And then after the attack, you can eat them. Horror. I don't think so. Well, that's bad eyesight for you. In fact, you know, it's not, today's typefaces don't help. My eyesight is bad. It's somewhere between Ray Charles and Mr. Magoo. Unlike the latter, my ocular misadventures haven't brought me great fortune. Not yet. Well, that's it, so I'm always misreading things, but today's typeface, the ubiquitous Helvetica, which every piece of public information is rendered in the typeface Helvetica. No accident, it's the most rational and legible typeface yet devised by the hand of man. But it's everywhere. It's no accident that motorway signage the world over is rendered in Helvetica, because it is a rational, easy to read typeface. But it does have its problems. It's not the work of it is the work of man, so it does have the odd glitch, and I found out where it is. When you get a capital L preceding a capital I, it looks like a capital U. So the word glitter looks like gutter. The word slimmer looks like summer. And I first found this out on the back credits of Top of the Pops in 1979, in the days when the late Flick Coleman was on the colour me surprised. But it was Clint Eastwood I felt so. There used to be a series on the TV last year, it was called The Coroner, about, you know, what goes on in a mole. But I'd always read it as The Crooner. So then it'd be like, when's he going to stop cutting up that cadaver and give us a song? But the Attack of the Soft Woman, that's where I go wrong, and of course the girl who played the 50-foot woman died last year, Yvette something, I can't remember her surname, Yvette, a lovely Yvette. And of course the posters were done by the great, the late great Mr. Reynold Brown, who also specialised in drive-in schlock horror teen-based movies. For instance, I'm now going on to from outer space, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Revenge of the She Creature, Return of the She Creature, Invasion of the She Creatures, Return of the Revenge of the She Creatures, Return of the Revenge of the Wrath of the She Creatures. He did, that was a good one, that was possibly the best of the genre. That was arguably the finest motion picture since Davy Crockett and the River Pirates, in my humble opinion. So, Attack of the 50-foot woman. Anyway, in the posters, you know, she's much bigger than 50 feet. For the purposes of sensationalism, she's much bigger than 50 feet. She's the size of the Empire State Building. She's standing astride a busy highway intersection just outside of Las Vegas. There's multiple pile-ups going on between her ankles where guys haven't been looking where they tried. Still, it might be a problem. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it might be like. A sack of a 50-foot woman like this. Oh, by the way, if you read the synopsis in Halliwell's film encyclopedia, it goes like this. A neurotic woman enters a disused spacecraft where she is affected by radioactivity, which, as any scientist will tell you, in a woman results in a 50-fold increase in total body mass. If it had been a guy, he would have been conferred with superpowers. Don't look for justice in this world. But you can't fight the laws of physics. So here it is, a sack of the 50-foot woman. Her molecules got magnified, her faintest whisper amplified, takes the highway in her stride, she's the little on the large side, a sack of a 50-foot woman, a sack of a 50-foot woman. Feeling vaguely discontent with all the spleen that fits a vent, dressed in a circus tent, her irritation overspent to an almost biblical extent. A sack of a 50-foot woman. She's a radioactive predatory flirt with a figure made to disconcert. Mess with her, you're gonna get hurt. Let's Catholics reconvert. A sack of a 50-foot woman who needs some overgrown shit stomping on their block. Mad, bad, sad, sick. How's the antidote coming on, Doc? Sports cars for roller skates. She straps them on whenever she's late. She's too big to appreciate. She'd be better off back in the States. She needs her own space, let's face it. A sack of a 50-foot woman. Blacking out the afternoon, she lends an air of ominous gloom. Was it something we said or a phase of the moon? Anyway, we ain't got the room. A sack of a 50-foot woman. A sack of a 50-foot woman. Please remain alert. Don't be driving down the outside lane, peeking up her tent of bleak skirts. Attempts to reach her only step, tried gold, flattery, top dollar gifts in a vain attempt to heal this rift. Still she seems a little bit miffed, 50 feet and never been kissed, she only wants a lift. A sack of a 50-foot woman. What's the army doing? Nada, totally trashed the state of Nevada, pissed all over the National Guard. A sack of a 50-foot woman. How come nobody's seen her coming? Marvellous, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The old enemy on the wrist is catching up with us once again, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, for the betting community, I'd like the look of Clipperty Clop at the 2:30 at Sandown Park tomorrow afternoon. Marvellous. Before I leave, here's a bit of good advice. 3 things you must never do. Never eat at a restaurant called Mum's. Never play poker with a guy whose name is Doc. And don't sleep with a woman who has more problems than you have. The last bit of good advice I'm going to impart this evening, because this is what I'm here to do. You know, people say to me all the time, you know, Johnny, you're in a position to dish out good advice in the world. And I said, well, that's not my job. I'm in the entertainment business. I'm there to entertain hard-working people and people that come and see me. I'm not there to dish out advice, good or bad. I said, but if I can couch that good advice in an amusing anecdote, then I don't mind doing it. Just like that. So I think like this one, here's an amusing bomb move that I think puts forward a socially responsible message. I don't mind if it's couched in an amusing anecdote, right? So this bloke, he sees his mate, he says, you're looking worried, Howard. He says, I'm very worried, Tony. I'm very, very worried. It's the wife, she's gone off the hospital for a checkup, but they've got papers mixed up. They don't know whether she's got Alzheimer's or AIDS. I'd appreciate any advice you could give me. He says, all I can think of is this. Take her for a drive in the country, somewhere she's never been before. Drop her off, and if she finds a way home, don't fuck her. Here we are. Okay. So we're coming up to the 8th furlong from home marker now, wearing the sheepskin noseband on the stand side with the clear yard. I did Bongo's trousers, didn't I?
Yeah. Holidays! 2 5! Lots of about space.
Hey, that's a good. I wish I could remember it though, but you know what? I don't think marriage should be encouraged. I don't, because my experience of marriage. Somebody once said that a wedding is a funeral where you can smell your own flowers. That's a harsh judgment. That's a harsh judgment. I prefer to see it as a sexual relationship that's recognised by the police. But I don't want to go putting people off. I don't want to go putting people off marriage. If it wasn't for marriage, couples would have to fight with complete strangers. No, I don't want to put anybody off. There might be some young gentleman out there thinking about, you know, I was married once, as you probably know, lots of times. First time it didn't work out, we got divorced, obviously, split the house, I got the outside. But even now, I'm not embittered. I don't want to go putting anybody off the institution of marriage. They've done extensive sociological surveys on the subject of marriage, and they found out that guys that don't get married don't live as long as guys that get married. But guys that get married invariably die before their wife. You know why that is, don't you? Because they want to. Here's a little bit of advice to anybody who's about to make the legal move with their beloved in the not too distant future. If you get on a woman's nerves, you'll never hear the last of that. You know, the time you got on her nerves, it'll come up at time and time again at opportunities that you might not think is appropriate. But you won't be allowed to forget that time you got on her nerves. But if you really piss them off, then you get the silent treatment. So it's worth putting in that little bit of extra. Anyway, if you get me, what I was going to say was, if you get me early in the morning, I care about the world, you know, for some reason. I get up early, before 2 p.m. You know, if you put a broadsheet newspaper in front of me, I've been known to say things like, something should be done to these people. But after that, I'm back to the old curmudgeonly, self-hating slob that you've come to know and hopefully find some affection for me. But until that time, you know, I'm quite altruistic. In fact, I send off letters to the papers about something must be done about this forthwith, you know, and all that sort of thing, you know, that kind of noise. And of course I have to have an alias for this, so my alias for sending off letters of this nature is Alan Ford, PhD. So I've created this monster now. I don't want to bring it up with my wife. I don't really want to know the answer, you know what I mean? I don't even want her to know that I even think it might be going on in her head. I don't know. I'm keeping quiet about it anyway. I'd rather it didn't come out in the open, but this is the most desperate poem I've ever written. Nobody can help me. You can't help me. I've invented this guy, Alan Ford, PhD, so she must think occasionally, if he can invent that guy who's so much nicer and cares about the world and is such a better person in every way, if he can invent that guy, surely it is but short. Surely it is but put that there. Surely it must be but a short step to become that much nicer guy. You know, why does he remain this crabby old bastard I've wound up with here. You know, why can't he just make that step and be that like Alan Thorpe? Why can't he get like Alan?